Our Denver Broncos have a home doubleheader today. Monday night against the Cleveland Browns and their woman-respecting quarterback, followed by this matchup at home against Anthony Richardson and the Indianapolis Colts. Obviously, it's been a rocky season for our Denver Broncos. We've set at a record of 3-9, and we're certainly hoping to make up a little bit of ground in the standings over these next couple of games against Cleveland and Indianapolis. Last episode, we played against the Raiders for the second time this season, and we ended up getting swept by them with both losses coming in overtime. In this game, we started with the ball, but a game-winning pick six by Jack Jones won it for Las Vegas. We also had a prospect profile in the last episode as well. Of course, we've already covered the quarterbacks in this draft class earlier in the season. Last time around, we covered some of the offensive skill position players at running back and wide receiver. Over the next two episodes, we will go through all of the other position groups, wrapping up the draft class before the regular season comes to a close. But let's look at this game against Cleveland. They, like us, sit towards the bottom of the AFC at 3-8. It has not been a good season for the Browns after making the playoffs last week. Do I feel like Ioma Uwazurike has a big opportunity in this game? With all the injuries we have on the defensive line, he's going to play quite a bit. He's gotten a little bit of run over the last couple of weeks. He's made a few nice plays. Would 2 sacks be enough? I don't think he's going to get 2. I certainly don't think he's going to get 3, but screw it. These are both unrealistic goals, so why not shoot for the stars? I don't think either of those are going to happen, considering he has none this year, I believe. But hey, maybe the Browns' offensive line will choose not to block for the sexual predator they have under center. This is our second primetime game this year. Our first one was on Thursday night back in Week 7 against the Saints. Another overtime game and another overtime loss, 27-24. That was the game where Bo Nix got injured late. Saints come back and win it. Of course, as I mentioned, these are two of the worst teams in the league. If the season ended now, we would both be picking in the top 5. We'll see which team is able to get their 4th win of the season. And again, it's been a massive disappointment for a Browns team who had some expectation coming into the season after a great year last year, especially the finish of last year with Joe Flacco leading the way. The Browns are, of course, led by their defense. The offense is certainly suspect with this gentleman at quarterback, he who shall not be named. They do have a solid group of skill position players with him. Of course, Nick Chubb, one of the best running backs in the NFL. He is healthy. At wide receiver, they traded Amari Cooper at the deadline to the Chargers. They've got former Bronco Jerry Jeudy, who makes a reunion here in the Mile High City. And obviously, the defense is really good. Myles Garrett, one of, if not the best defensive player in the NFL. They've got a great secondary, a really good corner trio with Denzel Ward, Greg Newsome, and Martin Emerson, and some other good young players like Grant Delpit and Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. The Browns' defense is one of the more talented units in the league. The offense has some good players as well, but they just haven't put it together for whatever reason. I can think of 240 million reasons why that might be. But without further ado, let's get this show on the road. Monday Night Football. The whole world gets to watch these two teams play, and to that I say the whole world probably should shield their eyes during this game because it might be ugly. Javonte Williams up the middle gets around 16. We've seen some impressive performances over the last few weeks from Javonte, looking for an extension with, of course, his contract up at the end of the season. 2nd and 1 from the 47. Nix looks to throw. It goes short. He's got Cortland Sutton with a nice play after the catch, and the Broncos already have it past the 40. A quick start here for the Denver offense. They are in business early, as it is now a 2nd and 4 from the 34. Nix again looks to throw it, has all day, now under pressure, hit as he throws, and he's got Mims. Inside the 10, a gain of 26 yards for Marvin Mims. And Denver's got it in the red zone, nearing the goal line. A really good, really efficient drive so far. Can they end off with a score? 1st and goal, play action. Javonte Williams trucks his way into the end zone for a touchdown. One of the most efficient drives I've seen all season. Consistently solid plays from start to finish. Denver marches right down the field to score a touchdown and take the lead. As we look at the Browns offense, 3rd and 10. Deshaun Watson looks to throw it under pressure, and he gets a massage in the backfield from Ioma Uwazurike, who we talked about at the press conference coming into the game. Forces the incompletion, nearly gets a sack, which would have been helpful for his goal. Denver gets it back. 3rd and 7. Nix has plenty of time. Looking downfield for Sutton, who hangs on despite a big hit by Denzel Ward. Bo Nix has been perfect so far in the first quarter. He has not missed a pass. 8 of 8 to start his night, and a great beginning of this one for the Broncos. They lead 7-0. The offense has been flawless. The defense looks really good too. One of our best quarters of the entire season by far, as that'll bring us into the second. 3rd and inches from the 35. Nix looks to throw. It goes short for Greg Dulcich. Whoop! Nice move. 1st and more into the red zone. An impressive play after the catch for Dulcich as he gets around 18 yards, and the Broncos are in prime position to add to this lead. 2nd and 10 from the 17. Audric Estime, the running back in the backfield. Jaleel McLaughlin, who had a great game last week, suffered a toe injury in the first quarter, as it's Mike Hall Jr., the rookie from the Ohio State University, with the sack. The Buckeyes, of course, just won their first college football playoff game in the Kansas dynasty, as it's now 3rd and 14. Nix looks to throw it, looking, and it's broken up, incomplete. Greg Newsome with the deflection, and that'll bring out the field goal team. 38-yarder for Lutz, who's been pretty much automatic as of recent, but this kick is no good. Wide left, and it remains 7-0. Will Lutz's season started off a little bit rocky, but he's played really well over the last 8 or so weeks. Misses a fairly easy one, though, and it remains a one-possession ball game. Browns back with it. Watson up the middle, gets it to Elijah Moore, who has the first down past the 45, and the Browns are now in enemy territory. 2nd and 12, nearing the halfway point in the second quarter. Watson looks to throw, and under pressure, hit as he throws, he connects. A big play to the rookie out of Louisville, Jabari Thrash, and it will be all for naught as this one is coming back. A holding call on Wyatt Teller, the veteran right guard, and instead of 1st and goal at the 3, they would be backed up at the 41. Now to the original line of scrimmage. 3rd and 10. Watson under pressure. Hit as he throws by Bonito. It's caught by David Njoku. He gets around 6, wrapped up by Brandon Jones. So the defense holds, and that'll bring out the kicking unit. Browns looking to finally put themselves on the board and make it 7-3. This is around the range where Lutz missed on the last possession, as the kick is good, and it is a 7-3 ball game. Broncos get it back. I know they only have 7 points, but the offenses look good. Bo Nix is playing a really strong game. We've been able to run the ball at a high level as well. From the 38, Nix on 1st down, looks to throw it. Up the middle, he fires for Cortland Sutton, who's had a big first half. And Sutton, the veteran, gets it to the 45. Now from the 34, past the 2-minute warning, 2nd and 10. Nix looks short, it is caught. Audric Estime, he coughs it up! The Browns rip it away, and they end up with the football. Grant Delpit recovers the fumble forced by Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. And the Browns end up back with the football. Originally, Audric Estime made a nice move, forcing a missed tackle, but then JOK delivers the boom. Delpit recovers, and the Browns get it back, looking to take the lead late in the first half. 3rd and 3 from around the 47-yard line, under 90 seconds left in the half. Watson up the middle. That's a first down to his all-pro running back, Nick Chubb, who gets it to the 37-yard line, and the chains will move for the Browns. Following play, Cleveland looking to move pretty quickly. Watson evades the sack from Browning, gets a 1st and more, pushed down at the 18 by Cooper. We gave Deshaun Watson a back scratch in the pocket, just how he likes it. From the 9, 2nd and 1. Watson looks to throw it, massaged, and then comes out of the pocket. Watson with room is in for a score. Only Deshaun Watson can find a way to get massaged into the backfield and then come into the end zone for a touchdown. And with that, it is a 10-7 ball game. The Browns take their first lead of the night, and Denver gets it with not much time left here in the second quarter, maybe 20 seconds. 3rd and 8. Nix up the middle. Nice throw and catch for Cortland Sutton. That's a first down. And the Broncos call a timeout. That is their second. They've got one in their back pocket here from around the 42-yard line. Nix on 1st down, looking for the sticks. It's caught again. Cortland Sutton with another grab. He has had a huge game in this one. Now has an even 50 catches for 800 yards on the year. And he was out of bounds, so the clock stops with around 7 seconds. 2nd and 10. Nix might as well loft it up for the end zone for Sutton. Incomplete with a flag. Defensive pass interference on Greg Newsome. And now the Broncos have a dilemma. Originally, the idea was go deep. If it doesn't work, kick the field goal. But with the ball at the 1, we're going to try to punch it in. With 2 seconds left, we're only going to have time for one play. And Javonte Williams is untouched for a score. It's a risky decision to go for the touchdown there because if we're stopped, the Browns take the lead going into halftime. But we've got enough trust in the guys up front to help Javonte Williams get a yard at the very least. And going into halftime, it is the Broncos with the lead, 14-10, in what has been an eventful first half so far. There's been a lot of positive. Bo Nix has played an awesome game so far. As we go into halftime, there's no halftime report because, well, every other game around the NFL is already complete. So here's some notable results. The Raiders upset Kansas City. That's a surprise. And with the Chargers winning, that puts LA in first place of the division. We still have to play both the Chiefs and the Chargers one more time this year, with both of those teams in a tight race. On Thanksgiving, the Lions, Giants, and Packers all win very close games. And with that, we will enter the second half. I think the big story has to be the play of Bo Nix. I think this is the best and most complete half of his career so far. 15 of 19, 172 and a score. Cortland Sutton is balling. Nix is pushing the ball downfield. He's been efficient in the short game. And then defensively, we've been able to hold up for the most part. I think we've got to stop the run, though. Deshaun Watson has been able to execute as a scrambler. Nick Chubb has been, well, Nick Chubb. And we don't want Deshaun Watson's Chubb to grow because, well, he's shown us time and time again that's usually not a good thing. 3rd and 16, they'll go for the screen. Chubb gets around 7. He's wrapped up by Brandon Jones. Good start for the defense, forcing the 3 and out. Denver gets it back on offense from the 47. Nix under pressure. He is sacked by Myles Garrett and Zadarius Smith. I've got to say, with second-string offensive tackles in the game, I think they've held up pretty well. Myles Garrett really hasn't been able to make much of an impact. He only has a couple of hits so far, but he does get to the quarterback there along with Smith, who's right back in the backfield again. 1.5 sacks on this drive, Sir Zadarius Smith. And that'll bring out the punt team. Riley Dixon on to kick it away from around midfield. And this one looks like it could be a good punt for the Broncos if it takes a friendly bounce. And it just misses into the end zone for a touchback. Cleveland dodges a bullet. And they'll get it back on offense. Now from the 33, driving it pretty well so far here in the third quarter. Handoff for Nick Chubb, and he runs into Alex Singleton, forcing a loss of around 2. So that'll make it a 3rd and 3. 30 seconds to go in what has been an uneventful third quarter for the most part. Both defenses playing well. Watson looks to throw it up the middle with a strike. The former Bronco, Jerry Jeudy, finally with his first catch of the game. Surtain has had him in hell. Maybe Steve Smith was right. Maybe he is just a guy. That'll wrap up the third. No score change here in the Mile High City. 14-10. Broncos with the lead here on Monday Night Primetime. But the Browns are pushing the ball downfield as they look to take the lead. Into the fourth quarter from the 28-yard line. Watson on first down, looking deep. He's picked off. Ronnie Hickman with the interception. Looks for a nice return as well. And the former Cleveland Brown gets the turnover against his old team, bringing the Broncos to the 16. A great play there by Hickman, who reads the play perfectly. Watson forces the ball into double coverage. I don't know what he was thinking there. My favorite part of this whole Deshaun Watson Browns experience is that Deshaun Watson sucks. It's so funny. And today, he really hasn't been all that good either. That his worst throw of the night so far. Denver back with it, 2nd and 4. Nix looks to escape, and he cannot. Zadarius Smith with 2.5 sacks over just the last 2 drives. He has picked it up after a slow start, and it is now 3rd and 5 from around the 21. Nix looks to throw it, looking short. He's got Josh Reynolds, who does not get the first down. He thought he had space cutting upfield. I don't know if he would have got it just putting his head down, but that's probably what he should have tried to do. Juan Thornhill brings him down, and you're not going to go for it on 4th down inside your own 25. So Denver has to punt it away. Browns back with it. Watson on the read option, smothered in the backfield by Nick Bonito, forcing a loss of 2. That was Muy Bonito. 3rd and 9 now. Watson looks to throw. It looked like Bonito jumped. No flag. Looking to run with it. P.J. Locke keeps his eye on him as a spy, and he forces the initial hit. Multiple defenders bring him down, shy of the yards to gain. And the Broncos are going to get it back here with around 5.5 minutes to go. Still 14-10. No score change in the second half. And Denver's going to look to choose some clock, finish this game off, and win their 4th game of the season. 3rd and 10 from the 26. This one is caught by Sutton, and he powers his way forward for a first down. Great play there after the catch by Sutton. He is now over the 100 yards mark in this one. 7 for a $104, one of his most complete games of the season. 2nd and 6. Keep your eye on the play clock and the game clock. Denver's trying to time this up nicely as Javonte gets around the yard, but keep your eye on the 2 clocks again. The game clock is just ahead of the play clock. We laid it as long as we could on 2nd down to snap the ball, hoping that we would get to the 2-minute warning here before the play clock hit 0, and we're able to do that. So the Browns are not going to be able to use the 2-minute warning to their advantage now, as it is a 3rd down and 6. Estime, the running back in the backfield. It will be a delayed handoff, and Audric Estime gets around 3 or 4. So Cleveland gets to stop. They'll call a timeout, and they get it back on offense. They're going to have 2 timeouts in a minute 47 to try to drive down the field and win this game. They've been held scoreless so far in the second half. We'll see if the Broncos can get one more stop as Jeudy gets it, breaking tackles to the 49. A huge gain for Jerry Jeudy. And the Browns are off to a good start on this drive. Watson under pressure up the middle, back to Jeudy. Nice play after the catch, and they will give him the first down. He was very clearly like 2 yards short, but okay. 2nd and 5. Now only 30 seconds left. Watson throws it away. This clock is going down quickly. The Browns are trying to hold on to that last time out for as long as possible, but they've got to be moving quickly here. Up the middle on 3rd down. It's overthrown. Jeudy, the intended target. Good coverage by Surtain. And the game comes down to a 4th and 5 with under 30 seconds to go. If Denver gets the stop, they win this game. Watson looks to throw it. He's going to find some space up the middle. Watson is able to find the hole. Wouldn't be the first time, unfortunately. And he gets the first down to the 22. Browns used their last timeout with 22 seconds left. First down, Watson looks to throw it. He is going to roll to the left. He has time, has an open man, and it's dropped. Nick Chubb had it in his hands, but he cannot come down with it. And so it's 2nd and 10 with 14 seconds. Watson looks to throw it under pressure. He is sacked. Baron Browning brings him down. Watson did not consent to that, but he never has cared about consent to begin with, and this game is over. The Broncos win it 14-10 with a game-winning sack by Baron Browning to finish it. What an interesting game. There were no points scored after halftime from either team. It was 14-10 going into halftime, and that was it for the scoring. Our defense had their most complete game of the year, even with only 1 turnover. I think we only had 1 sack, which was obviously the play right at the end. But our defense was consistent. We didn't allow big drives. We didn't allow big plays. That's been an issue for us. Look at the game last week against the Raiders. They had at least 3, maybe 4 plays of 50-plus yards. That's been our defense's biggest issue this year, allowing the big play. And with the lack of explosive weapons this Browns team has, we were able to avoid that. Great game from Bo Nix. He was awesome. 22 of 27, 226 and a score. Really, really good game from him. Made all the right throws. Didn't put it into harm's way. As for Deshaun, 18 for 24. 1 pass for each of his 24 lawsuits. Not a great game for Watson. I feel like both teams should have leaned into the run a little bit more. Chubb and Williams both solid. Cortland Sutton, of course, had a great game. He was one of the best players on the field. And then again, this defense deserves a ton of credit. The run defense was able to hold Nick Chubb. I swear, our run defense is only good against good running backs. It makes no sense. How can Nick Chubb, Bijan Robinson, Isaiah Pacheco, and Derrick Henry suck against this team? But when we play Zamir White, he looks like prime Adrian Peterson. Of course, Baron Browning with the big sack at the end, and Ronnie Hickman with a nice second half interception as well. Of course, Ioma Uwazurike did not complete his challenge. I'm not sure if anyone's surprised by that. Apparently, he was expecting to dominate. Didn't happen. Baron Browning is also upset by his performance. That does not make sense. He literally won us the game with his sack at the end. Okay, all right, EA. Here's a look at our scores. We already saw all of these, but it's now updated with our win. As for your players of the week, we've got Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Tremaine Edmonds, and Foye Oluokun. Now into week 14, we've made it to the bye week, and the interesting thing here is our team's health. We've been banged up throughout the season, and we missed a lot of our key players on the offensive and defensive lines over the past few weeks. But everybody's healthy now, other than Drew Sanders and Quinn Bailey. who have been on injured reserve for the entire season. So with those two not taken account for, our team is fully healthy right now, and hopefully that can lead us to getting some more momentum here towards the end of this season. Our team is going to do some stealth scouting, and we're going to talk about it in the meeting room with some of the players, and it seems like the coaching staff wants us to utilize our slot receiver more. The odd thing is, they're going to talk about Troy Franklin here when he's not our slot receiver. Marvin Mims is the guy who gets the reps in the slot. But I would like to use Troy Franklin a lot down the stretch. I think 4 catches a game is a reasonable goal. I really want to see him get more snaps and potentially try to prove himself to be a potential regular starter next season. Here's a look at the playoff picture, by the way, where we stand. And I think it's also worth noting that despite the fact that we won this past week, our Denver Broncos are officially eliminated from postseason contention. No Super Bowl here in year 1. And here's a look at our scores around the league here in week 14. Lions beat the Packers. Love to see it. Players of the week, we've got Dak Prescott, Tua Tagovailoa, Dre Greenlaw, and Chris Jones. And that'll get us set for our week 15 matchup against the Indianapolis Colts, who are 8-5 this year. They've had a really strong season in a tight division race with Jacksonville and Houston. We've got a few upgrades, and I do want to talk about both of them real quick. Patrick Surtain with a temporary boost is now a 98 overall. He is the second-ranked corner in the game, I think only behind Sauce Gardner. And then Bo Nix continues to progress. He has a big loss in morale. I don't know why that is. The only thing that would make sense is team success. But he's now a 77 overall, not accounting for morale. And he's moved up to the 25th best quarterback in the NFL, which I think is pretty accurate to how he's played this year. Maybe a little bit higher than that. So let's look at the Colts, who, like us, are coming off of a bye week. So having the extra week off isn't really an advantage for us because the Colts have had it as well. Indianapolis has been really inconsistent on both sides of the ball this year. They have won 3 games in a row, and they've scored over 100 points in those 3 games combined. But as good as their offense has been recently, their defense has struggled. They have not had consistency on both sides of the ball at all. And when we look at inconsistency, Anthony Richardson is kind of the epitome of that. Now, he has taken some massive strides here in his second season, and it looks like the Colts do have a franchise quarterback, and he's got some good weapons. Out of the backfield, Jonathan Taylor, a fringe top 5 running back in the NFL. They also added Chuba Hubbard at the trade deadline. Michael Pittman Jr., Josh Downs, the rookie, Adonai Mitchell, and Alec Pierce lead a talented receiving core. The offensive line is pretty solid. Defense, not great, but they do have some good pieces, including the rookie edge rusher, Laiatu Latu, the top defensive player off the board in last year's draft. The Broncos are going to be rocking with the throwback uniforms as well. I know a lot of people like these jerseys, myself included, so that'll be pretty fun. And it's a battle of the horses, the Colts and the Broncos. So we'll see which horse team is able to get the win here. Denver looking to stay out of the double digits in the loss column, while the Colts look to clinch an over 500 season. Indy starts with the ball. Anthony Richardson opens up the game in empty. Looking downfield early, he's got Josh Downs to the 46. One of the many talented young receivers on this roster. The Colts have a lot of weapons with a lot of differing skill sets. Richardson under pressure, breaks the sack from Browning, and he is off to run with it. Anthony Richardson to the 20. He gets 23. Richardson is big, he's fast, he is one of the most dynamic rushing quarterbacks in the NFL, and he is hard to bring down with his combination of size and strength as he connects up the middle with Josh Downs again into the red zone, and he brings it to the 2-yard line. The Broncos' defense was excellent last week. They did not allow a single point in the second half, but Anthony Richardson is dominating them to start. Oh my goodness, look at the ball. I didn't know that was physically possible. How does physics allow for that? That ball went in like the 10th row. Second and goal, Jonathan Taylor walks the red carpet, in for a score. The Colts march down the field, in for a touchdown, and they lead this game 7-0 as we take our first look at the Bronco offense with Bo Nix and company, who also were held off the board in the second half of the Monday Night Football game against the Browns. Whoop! Nice move by Josh Reynolds on the RPO. He brings it to the 43-yard line. Very nice play after the catch. That'll keep the chains moving for a Denver first down. 3rd and 10 now, empty backfield here for Bo Nix. He'll snap it with 9 on the play clock. Looking to throw it, has time, sends it into traffic. Nobody was open. Probably shouldn't have risked it there. I do not think that was the read. but he's lucky it's incomplete. Colts back with it. Josh Downs, quick pass, quick first down. Busy start for Josh Downs. In the first 6 minutes of this game, he's got 4 catches for 55 yards already. He has been Anthony Richardson's go-to man. Chris Abrams' drain is really struggling in coverage so far today as Richardson runs for a first down on 3rd and 6. Steps up in the pocket. Nobody's open except for that space to the left side, and he takes advantage of that. 1st and 5 now after a pre-snap penalty. Richardson up the middle. He connects with the rookie out of Texas, Adonai Mitchell, to the 34-yard line. Mitchell drafted in the 2nd round, a very physically talented receiver who could be this team's alpha one day. And there's Josh Downs again. Brings it to the 8. 5 for 75 now for Downs. It looks like he has some words with Ronnie Hickman after the play. And now it's 1st and goal, maybe the final play of the quarter. Richardson on the run. He is stopped shy of the end zone by P.J. Locke, and that'll wrap up what was a not-so-good first quarter for the Broncos. Not so good wouldn't be doing it justice. We played pretty terribly in this quarter. The defense looks abysmal. Anthony Richardson is dominating. The offense got maybe 1 or 2 first downs. Not much to speak of. And the Colts have a golden opportunity to make it a 14-0 lead. We'll see if they can convert. 3rd and goal. Richardson on the run. He's got Adonai Mitchell for the touchdown. There was an open receiver like right in front of him. Leave it to Anthony Richardson to go for the more challenging throw and for it to still work. Mitchell makes it 14-0. Denver gets it back. 2nd and 6. Next looking short, Marvin Mims with the first down to the 46. Mims has played well over the last few weeks, coming off a quiet game, though, in the win over Cleveland. Now 2nd and 3 from the 39. Offense finally showing some signs of life. Javonte Williams to the left side with space. Trucks the defender, gets 21 yards. A big run for Javonte Williams. Denver now in the red zone. The offense starting to make some plays, and we'll see if they can make it a 1-score game. 1st and 10. Knicks looking, picked off. Darrell Baker with the interception. Jumps the route. It was Jaleel McLaughlin, the intended target, but Baker reads the eyes of the rookie quarterback perfectly. Colts get it back, forcing a stop in the red zone, and it remains 14-0. And this game goes from bad to worse for the Broncos. Richardson sacked on first down. Finally, a good play for Denver. It's Jonathan Cooper, who's missed much of the second half of the year with injury. He gets the sack. 2nd and 17. Mitchell down the field, and I think we'll tack on an additional 15 along with the big first down because of a late hit on the quarterback by Baron Browning. So Denver allows the big play. They get the penalty. And the Colts, who are inside the 10, now with it at midfield. And here's Josh Downs on the very next play. 51 yards to the house. The hot start for Josh Downs continues. 6 catches for 126 and a score. The Colts lead it 21-0 with 5 minutes to go in the first half. 3rd and 9, Nix connects with Sutton short, and he's able to fight for a few yards, but is stopped shy of the first down marker by Eric Rowe. Denver punts it again. Colts back with it. Anthony Richardson on the read option. Defense doesn't see it coming. Shrugs off the tackle and is laid out by Chris Abrams' drain near midfield. I think that was Brandon Jones who had the initial hit on Richardson and then went flying. Jonathan Taylor now with a big first down run, finding space to the 33. And the Colts have an opportunity to add to what is already a very big lead. 2nd and 11. Back to Taylor, now to the left side with another first down. Breaks the tackle from Ronnie Hickman and brings it to the 12. The Broncos just look flat in all facets of the game right now. The offense has been a disaster. The defense has been even worse. Richardson on 2nd and 4 looking for the end zone. Mitchell was out of bounds. He might have got both feet in, and this play will be reviewed. Let's take a look at it. Does Adonai Mitchell get both feet in? It's really close. I think the question is a matter of when the first foot hits, but I think this play will be reversed. It looks like he has possession of the ball with both feet in bounds, so that is a touchdown, and it's 28-0. Javonte loses a yard on 2nd down. That'll make it 3rd and 4. Denver goes no huddle up the middle. Nice catch for a first down to the 48. There's Troy Franklin. Following play, 2nd and 6. Knicks under pressure. He is brought down. Tyquan Lewis is home with the sack. 3rd and 15 now. Nix, under more pressure, hit as he throws incomplete. From there, the Colts wouldn't really do anything in the final 30 seconds, and that'll wrap up the first half. The best thing I can say about this first half is that it is over. I don't think there's a single positive for Denver as they trail to the Indianapolis Colts 28-0. Let's look at our halftime report around the rest of the league, get some more competitive games than this one, as we'll start things off in Cleveland. The Kansas City Chiefs coming to town. The Chiefs need all the wins they can get, fighting for a playoff spot, fighting for the division lead with the Chargers. They're a little bit behind LA. They would win this game, though, 28-16. This was one of 4 passing touchdowns from Patrick Mahomes. This one caught by Rashee Rice. The Chiefs move up to 9-5. The Browns, who won last week, fall to a record of 4-10 with another not-so-good game from Deshaun Watson. Let's head to Philadelphia. The Battle of Pennsylvania. This one in the snow as well. The Steelers in a similar spot as Kansas City. The Eagles need all the wins they can get at 6-7. And Philly's looking good with this rushing touchdown by Jalen Hurts. The Eagles lead at 17-7. In a competitive NFC playoff picture, there's not much margin for error for Philadelphia. Maybe they can afford one more loss, if that. So this is a must-win game, and they're certainly performing. Russell Wilson really struggling so far for the Steelers. And then in the Motor City, the Lions are playing some great football as of recent, looking to keep that going against the Bills team, who has to win this game. David Montgomery with the opening touchdown of the game. Lions would miss the extra point, though, from the rookie Jake Bates. Bills would eventually tie it at 6 in a surprisingly low-scoring affair. Both Josh Allen and Jared Goff have equally struggled for the most part in this game, and both defenses have looked quite good. Let's move into the second half. We haven't been able to stop the run. We definitely have not been able to stop the pass. I think we're going to put more emphasis on the run game, though, because, well, the Colts are going to be running the ball a lot. And then, on the inverse, we're probably going to be throwing the ball a lot because, well, newsflash, we're down by 28. Let's go into the second half. Let's see if this game can become a little bit closer, try to make it semi-competitive. Starting with a run here with Jaleel McLaughlin. First down, jukes away from the defender, and a good run from McLaughlin, who gets it to the 41. Denver's got to set the tone on the ground and be a little bit more efficient and dynamic through the air. 3rd and 11 now. Nix can't find anybody open under pressure from Buckner, and that pass is well above the extended arms of the tight end, Adam Troutman. That'll lead to a punt. Colts get it back, still 28-0, as it's a 3rd and 7 at the 8. Richardson with it, dancing around, looks to run with it, and my golly, the Broncos get a stop. The Colts have scored every time they've touched the ball, with the exception of the last drive in the first half where they kneeled the clock out. But there's a stop, and now here's Javonte Williams down the field. They will not catch him. A 59-yard touchdown, and Denver is on the board. That's Javonte's longest run of the season. The Broncos are not known for their big plays on the ground. Javonte Williams is known more as a between-the-tackles runner, somebody who's going to fight for extra yards but maybe not hit the home run. That time he hits the grand slam. Chris Paul hits a huge 3 to cut the lead to 43. Indy back with it. Nice play up the middle for Michael Pittman Jr. He gets it to the 41. 2nd and 8 now, halfway through the 3rd. Jonathan Taylor with it, and he is stuffed behind the line of scrimmage by Brandon Jones, who's had some good plays today. He's also had some bad ones. And that'll make it a 3rd and 10 now from the 41. Richardson looks to throw it, looking for the sideline. It's caught by Alec Pierce, and he does not get the first down. Riley Moss with the tackle, a white-on-white crime. It must be snowing towards that end of the sideline, and Denver gets it back. 3rd and 10, it's a screen that is thrown into the ground. Pressure led by Grover Stewart, amongst others. And the Colts get it back. 3rd and 12, 3 to go in the 3rd. Richardson sails up a prayer downfield. It's caught! Adonai Mitchell to the 10. The big throws from Richardson will make your jaw drop. And that one, he places it right into the bucket. 3rd and 11 at the 11. It's broken up in the end zone. Surtain had his hands on it. Should have been intercepted. Would have been his 4th of the year. But he's ultimately unable to come down with it. Defense does get the stop, though. Colts are going to have to kick. Field goal is good. And it is 31-7. It is technically a 3-score game. Can we come back from that in 10 minutes? Let's see. Kansas did it in 5. Here's Jaleel McLaughlin with it to the right side, out of bounds at the 18. A big run to end the third quarter, and hey, that wasn't a completely horrible quarter. Denver outscored the Colts 7-3, and instead of being down by 28, we're only down by 24. Let's move into the fourth now. Let's see if Denver can try to potentially start what would be a miraculous rally. They're moving the ball down the field pretty well. They've got it at the 18 to start the quarter. Nix looks to be calling an audible after the big run by McLaughlin. This time it's play action. Nix connects with Courtland Sutton with space. He is in for a score. A quick start to the fourth quarter. Courtland Sutton is in for a touchdown, and the Denver Broncos are back on the board. They will now look to go for two and try to make it a two-score ball game. You know, if they get this, maybe the door is open. Nix looks to throw it. Trying to go up the middle for Mims, and he cannot hang on. It's broken up. Good play there by the defense. 31-13, Colts back with it. 3rd and 7. Jonathan Taylor bounces off defenders, breaking tackles, gets the first down. An impressive run there by Taylor, and the Colts are in full chew clock mode as we expected going into the second half, running the ball a lot. 3rd and 8. Richardson's pass is incomplete. He was looking for Pittman, who's had a quiet day. He's been on Patrick Surtain Island. And Denver gets it back. Bo Nix strikes it downfield. He connects with Adam Troutman, getting some extra reps with Greg Dulcich getting injured in the first half. From the 31 now with 3 to go. Nix is sacked. He is brought down there by Kwity Paye, the former first-rounder out of the University of Michigan. 3rd and 23. Nix sacked again. Latu brings him down, and it looks like Paye was there as well. That'll make it a 4th and 30 from around midfield, nearing the 2-minute warning. Nix throws it up downfield. It's caught for a first down. Courtland Sutton gets 35 yards, and Denver converts, bringing us to the 2-minute warning. Following play, Nix, under pressure, tries to evade the sack, and he does. Outrunning Latu, wrapped up at the 4, and you're going to tack on a few extra yards with the unnecessary roughness penalty against Indianapolis. This one is going to be called on Julius Brents, the second-year corner from Kansas State, with an unnecessary hit on Bo Nix. Stay classy, Kansas State. 1st and goal. Javonte Williams powers his way forward, his second touchdown of the ball game, and his 3rd of the episode. If you've been starting Javonte in fantasy, well, you must be reaping the rewards. And with that, it is a 2-score game. Denver will go for 2 to, again, try to make it a field goal deficit. Jaleel McLaughlin looks like he has space, and he does. McLaughlin is in 31-21, and now it's time for the onside kick. Let's see if Denver can continue a potential miracle run, and the Colts quickly scoop it up with no time to waste. Recovering the onside, it's Chuba Hubbard, acquired at the trade deadline from Carolina. And now Indy looking to finish this game off for good. And I think this first down run for Jonathan Taylor should do that. 31-21 your final. The Colts end up coming into Denver, beating the Broncos, who fall to a record of 4-10. The first half was our team's worst half of the year. We were god-awful. The offense sucked. The defense sucked. In the second half, we definitely played better. We outscored them 21-3. The defense held them out of the end zone. We saw some good things out of the passing game. But really, I feel like the score was not as close as the score suggests. It's just that the Colts kind of let the pedal off the metal in the second half. They didn't really throw the ball in the fourth quarter. They were just trying to chew clock. Their defense wasn't as good. And they didn't need to be good, considering how big of a lead they had. Anthony Richardson had a really good game, made some really impressive throws, was dominant on the ground. This was definitely one of his best games of the year. Bo Nix was fine. He wasn't good, but he wasn't bad either. Jonathan Taylor was solid. Javonte Williams was good. Him and McLaughlin each had over 10 yards a carry. I wish we utilized the run more, but we were playing from behind the entire time. Now, I will say, I don't think our run game was as good as the numbers suggest. Both of those guys kind of living off of big runs they had. Downs with 126, Mitchell with 107. Those guys were very effective. Defensively, it was not pretty. We definitely improved in the second half, but the coverage was not good overall. The run defense was not good overall. Kind of back to a lot of the issues that we've had earlier in the season. Bo Nix has another skill point. 3,500 passing yards gets him 7,000 XP points. We're going to put it into Scrambler this time, and he moves up to a 78 overall. Again, not accounting for morale. We do have a new injury. It's a torn labrum for Greg Dulcich. He will be able to return during the final game of the year. I am considering just putting him on IR getting an extra roster spot and going all in on Lucas Kroll. The one game that Lucas Kroll played, he had a better performance than Greg Dulcich has ever played at the NFL level. Here's a look at our Week 15 scores around the rest of the NFL. As for your players of the week, we've got Cooper Kupp, Lamar Jackson, Preston Smith, and Rasul Douglas. Before we move on, please look at Cooper Kupp's stat line. Yeah. So the Rams scored 52 points. Matthew Stafford threw for 6 touchdowns. That's more than the amount of incompletions he had. And Cooper Kupp had the greatest wide receiver stat line ever. 8 catches, 256 yards, and an NFL record 6 receiving touchdowns. Cooper Kupp leads the NFL in receiving yards by quite a lot. He is back into his 2021 form. And again, he had the greatest receiving stat line I've ever seen. 193 yards coming after the catch? That is absurd. How does one stop that? So that brings us into Week 16. We've got the Chargers on the schedule. Very hard schedule to finish the year. The Chargers, Bengals, and Chiefs all vying for playoff spots. Next episode, we've also got a prospect profile. I plan to cover tight ends, offensive linemen, and defensive linemen. It should be a lot of fun, so I hope you guys are ready for that. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Broncos country, let's ride.